Hi everyone, it's Rachel and Anthony.
Hello.
From Don't Crop Me Now, and today we're going to do something that is rather exciting. We are probably pretty experienced growers of potatoes, but we've never had a go at trying to grow a giant potato. However, we've been quite inspired by watching Tony over at Simplified Gardening and his potato growing, and one of the things that he does is grow these potatoes that are called Condor, in an attempt to grow a really large potato. And we have had a go before at growing a few different giant vegetables. And again, we are not experienced giant vegetable growers, and for us, we're not taking these to competition really, it's just for a little bit of fun. So we have grown some giant or very long chilies, and actually they did really well. We had some really long chilies, not at the record length, but pretty good. We've also had a grow last year. We had a go at growing some giant cabbage, and they were certainly much bigger than our normal cabbages, and we are going to be growing the giant cabbages again this year. But as a new thing, we are having a go at growing a giant potato using these Condor potato seeds. So as the first stage, let's talk about what medium we are going to use to grow the giant potatoes. And in this wheelbarrow, we have got some of our homemade compost. So you can see this is quite a rich compost. It's a very nice crumbly structure. This is a mixture of various things that we collect. So there is quite a lot of chicken manure in this, vegetable waste, grass clippings, shredded paper, hamster and guinea pig and rabbit waste, all sorts of different things, weeds. So it's a balanced, I would say, rich homemade compost. And we are going to use this as the majority of the medium to grow the potatoes. However, we will be adding some mycorrhizal fungi. And I'll be perfectly honest, I am not 100% sure whether we really need to add any extra of this, just because our homemade compost will have such a good balance of natural fungi within it that it's probably not needed. However, I just know I've had such good results with adding this to other potato tubs when we've used a mixture of our compost and bought compost that I'm going to add a bit anyway. You know, it's not going to do any harm, so we will add maybe a tablespoon or a little bit more than that of this mycorrhizal fungi. If you've not heard of this, this is a natural product, so obviously it's organic. It is basically dried fungi that has a symbiotic relationship with the plant roots. And just to keep that really simple, basically what that means is this fungi works with the natural plant roots, and they both get a little bit out of that relationship. And so your plants will grow stronger with having this natural fungi within the ground, and it is present normally within the ground. So by using this, we're just essentially giving it a little bit of a boost. It's a really great product to use if you're using predominantly bought in compost, because that has been heavily sterilised and won't have much of this natural fungi. Like I said, ours has probably got a little bit already in it, but I'm going to add some anyway. So we will be adding a little bit of this. And then in this tub, I know it says manure pellets, but it's not manure pellets. This is some bloodfish and bone that we got from our allotment shop. So I will be adding a couple of good handfuls of that into the mixture as well. So we are not sponsored in any way, and these things that we are showing you in the videos are just stuff that's worked well for us. We will be growing the potatoes in 30-litre tubs that come from Oakland Gardens. So they're very sturdy tubs. They will last a very long time. And again, we were inspired to buy these by Tony over at Simplified Gardening. If you don't follow his channel, then go and have a look. He is a complete expert in everything about all sorts of different types of growing, and his videos are very helpful. So we will be using these tubs. The main difference between this and our normal potatoes that we also grow in these tubs is the number of seed potatoes that we will be putting in each one. So we're going to start prepping our growing material. So this is the mycorrhizal fungi. I'm going to put 2 of these in there. And the bloodfish and bone, I'm going to go for 2 handfuls, decent handfuls there. So we'll just give this a decent mix. And now it's ready to go into the bucket. So we've got our seed potato, the condor variety, and the difference between growing this and normal potatoes, and some people do this when they're growing their normal potatoes, if you want to try and make sure you get large potatoes, is if you look at the seed potato itself, you can see that there's a number of the potato eyes that have started growing, and these would be referred to as the chits, and these will grow where the stems and the leaves are going to grow out of. And if you look around the potato, there's often more than one of these on each potato. So what we are going to do is we're going to reduce the number of chits to just leave us with 1. And the idea is that because we are going to therefore reduce the number of potatoes that can form, because there's going to be less stems essentially, then those potatoes themselves should be able to grow bigger. So what I will do is I'm just using this spoon, and we're basically scraping away where the other chits are. So where we've got a chit there, we're scraping away. So you're sort of rubbing the chits out. I'm going to save this one, not for really any particular reason. So I didn't have like a massive amount of chits actually on this potato. It's a bit of mud. There's one there. I'm probably going to miss some of these. I can't really see any more. So we're leaving this remaining chit. So we put about half of the compost into the tub, and we put the seed potato in with the chit facing upwards. And then what we would do is we would just put the rest of the compost on top to fill up as far as we can in the tub. So now we put the rest of the mixture on top of the potato. I mean, there is a couple of inches still left in this bucket, but we tend to put quite a thick layer of hemp bedding. Horse bedding is how it's usually sold. It's very fine sort of wood chip material that acts to suppress any weeds on the top and also to hold that moisture in. So we will fill that up to the top there with the hemp bedding. So that's 1 tub planted. We think we're just going to do 3 of these because we've heard that they're not the best tasting potatoes, so we don't want to do a lot, and it's just a bit of an experiment and a little bit of fun. So these are main crop potatoes, and you can see on the instructions here it's saying that they should be ready to harvest from 15 to 22 weeks from planting. So we're around the beginning of April now, so these realistically should be ready from coming up to the end of July to the end of August, I guess, really. Because we tend to get blight every single year, potato blight every single year on our allotment ground, it does mean that sometimes we have to harvest earlier than we perhaps would want to for some of the main crop potatoes. So it would be good to see whether that actually affects our yields and what time this year blight sort of sets in and when we have to cut the tops of our potatoes off and start dealing with that situation. So if you are interested in learning about blight, we do have another video about how to manage potato blight, and we'll link that in the description. Because the seed for growing these giant potatoes, the condor seed, is, well, firstly, it's quite expensive. It's probably at least 3 or 4 times the price of other potato seeds, and it's not that easy to source. We are going to try and grow our own seed potatoes to keep for at least next year. So the way that we'll do this is the same way as we have grown the other potatoes that are for the giant attempt. However, we are not going to rub the chips off these ones, and I have picked a few potatoes that actually have a decent number of chips. We're going to do 2 in this bucket, and we will cap these at the 15 weeks. So at the 15 weeks we will cut the top off and stop them growing, because we don't want these ones to go really big. We want them to be reasonably small so they're suitable for seed for the next year. So this potato tub is now planted up. We're just going to do another 2 potato tubs in a similar manner, and we will return to these potatoes throughout the growing season to give you an all update on how our progress with growing the giant potato is going. If you have enjoyed the video today, please like, comment and subscribe. It only takes a minute, but it will really help our channel. Take care everyone. Bye.
Bye.